Femi began to experience strange dreams. In these dreams, his mother labored under heavy rain, carrying rocks and breaking mountains. As these dreams grew more frequent, Aunt Peju's health took a sudden turn for the worse. Femi was just 8 years old when tragedy struck, leaving him an orphan. A devastating house fire claimed the lives of both his parents, leaving him with nothing but the ashes of what was. Femi's world was shattered, but there was still someone left to take him in. His aunt, Auntie Peju, a widow who lived a modest life in a small house she had inherited from her late husband, Uncle Tunde. Uncle Tunde was a soldier who had fallen in battle. He had always promised a better life for Auntie Peju. His death left her with no fortune, only memories of dreams unfulfilled. Auntie Peju had no children of her own, but to Femi, she was both mother and father. She took him in, caring for him with the same love she would have shown her own child. Despite the hardships, Auntie Peju was a fighter, managing with her small kiosk where she sold provisions, snacks and cold refreshing drinks. Her fish pies, egg rolls and chin-chin were beloved by children in the neighborhood, particularly because they were affordable and ready just when school let out, making her shop a busy hub of activity. And in fact, the school children would often starve in school just to reward themselves with the hot yummy puff-puff, buns, chin-chin, fish roll with cold lolly, as the children called the frozen fuzzy drinks. Beside Auntie Peju's store was Iyaola, who just newly moved into the shop next to Auntie Peju. She just couldn't help but notice that Auntie Peju's pastries business was moving so well, and she decided to test waters and ventured into frying pastries as well. But little did she know that the children wanted what they wanted. She would often wink at the kids on the queue, telling them that she sells yummy snacks as well. The few of the children that tried the snacks never went to her. We all know kids never lie when it comes to how they feel. It didn't take so long before the other children realized that her snacks was a no-go area. In their words, her pastries were cold, tasteless and soggy. This made Iyaola really bitter that one day she had to confront Auntie Peju. She started trouble for no reason, screaming, "This woman, you are very greedy. Is this business only meant for you? I hear how you badmouth my snacks to the kids, discouraging them not to buy from me." Auntie Peju sighed and ignored her. She wanted more reaction from Auntie Peju, but she didn't get it. And Iyaola said, "No wonder God never blessed you with a child, barren woman." Femi dashed out, facing Iyaola, and he said to her, "My mother is not barren." Femi went to his mother, gave her a tight hug. Auntie Peju replied while Femi wiped her tears, "I am truly not barren. I have you, and you are all that I need." Femi looked into her eyes. "You are the best mother ever, and I'll give you the best." And they both hugged each other. But despite the success of her humble business, life was never easy. Auntie Peju's health began to deteriorate as she grew older, and the dreams she had once held seemed further out of reach. Femi, on the other hand, was determined to make something of himself. He would often tell his aunt that he wanted to become a baker one day. His mother, seeing the passion in his eyes, promised to help him achieve his dream. She would save what she could from her weekly contributions, hoping to send him to a bakery school one day. At this point, Femi was already done with his secondary education. He was such a smart boy, but couldn't further his education due to financial reasons. Femi's heart swelled with hope as he worked diligently at the kiosk. At this point, he was the one handling his mother's pastries and doing the frying. He was always helping his mother and learning the art of baking by her side. When Aunt Paige found a bakery where Femi could train, she paid for his tuition and encouraged him to pursue his passion. With excitement, Femi began his formal training and his talent blossomed. His boss was impressed by his speed and skill. He entrusted him with more responsibility, and soon Femi was making cakes for clients. After completing his training, his boss gave him a token and a mixer as a gift to help him start his own business. On the other hand, Auntie Peju's health was getting really worse and she couldn't continue with her business. So Femi started baking business in the kiosk. Femi took the leap and started his own pastry business. Although he struggled, his skills were undeniable. He baked beautiful cakes with fondant design so realistic that customers marveled at his craft. But success did not come easy. But he trusted in God. But sometimes fear sets in. He often wondered if he would ever be able to make a living from his art. But despite his doubts, Femi never gave up. He watched countless tutorials on YouTube and practiced day and night, perfecting his craft and also believing in God. Auntie Peju raised him to always trust in God and be prayerful. He never stopped praying and believing in God. On this day, Femi was so tired. He had the intention of heading to the market to get some baking ingredients, but he dozed off while working on a customer's order. Femi had the market shopping for some baking ingredients. Femi saw an old woman in tattered clothes being scolded by a young woman for begging near her stall. Femi, moved by compassion, gave the old woman the last of his change. As he walked away, the old woman followed him and called out his name. To his surprise, she claimed to know of his struggles and offered him a cowrie, telling him to place it under his pillow for good luck. He was skeptical but curious, and Femi accepted the cowrie. He thanked the woman and he rushed down to his shop to complete a cake. A customer already ordered a realistic money bag. Femi outdid himself as usual. The money bag looking so realistic, it was sitting pretty on the cake. He secured the cake in a good place in his shop and he closed for the day. That night, he followed the old woman's instructions, placing the cowrie under his pillow. The next day, to his amazement, as he opened his shop, he found the identical bag, same as the one he had baked the night before, but it was bigger and this was real. It was filled with money. He couldn't believe his eyes and he quickly checked with a money changer to confirm that the money was real. As he collected the money from the money changer, his chest beat fast and he walked slowly, thinking that the money changer would call him back, that the money was fake. But surprisingly, the man did call him back. He was happy and surprised at the same time. He couldn't wait to get home. With his newfound wealth, Femi's life took a dramatic turn for the better. He moved into a bigger house, secured a better location for his business, and invested heavily in his bakery. He bought cars and gave his mother the best life he could provide. Auntie Peju, who had been ill for so long, showed signs of improvement, and Femi rejoiced in the success that had come so unexpectedly. But as time went on, Femi began to experience strange dreams. In these dreams, his mother labored under heavy burdens, carrying rocks and breaking mountains. As this dream grew more frequent, Auntie Peju's health took a sudden turn for the worse and she passed away. Femi was devastated and he couldn't understand why things had taken such a dark turn. Little did he know that everything had a price. Soon after his mother's death, Femi began to behave oddly. He would find himself doing strange things. It was as if he was under the influence of unknown spirits. He would be running barefoot through the market, eating on the ground at a tea junction, performing bizarre acts that left others thinking he had lost his sanity. The nightmares became more vivid, and Femi felt as though he was losing control of his own life. One night, as Femi wandered around on the street, a madman approached him and tapped him on the shoulder. Femi, now desperate, he listened as the madman revealed something startling. The old woman he had helped was the source of his misfortune, revealed the madman. The madman explained that by accepting the cowrie, Femi had unknowingly accepted a curse. The favor that seemed like a blessing had come at a great price. The madman advised that he get rid of the cowrie. Femi, determined to end his own suffering, he rushed home and disposed of the cowrie. As he did, he felt a shift in the air. Slowly, things began to return to normal. His life, though still in ruins, started to regain his semblance of peace. Femi lost everything in an unexplainable fire. And the next thing, Femi woke up. Alas, it was all a dream. He woke up from all the terrible nightmares. He was sweating profusely. It was all a dream. His mother's death, his unexplainable wealth, his dilemma, they were all a dream. He jumped up, said a word of prayer, thanking God it was all a dream. He took his phone to quickly check on his mom. He sighed in relief to hear his mother's voice once again. He quickly rushed down to the market to get baking ingredients. As he walked through the market, he couldn't shake the unsettling feeling. Suddenly, to his shock, he saw the same old woman he approached in the dream. It was like the dream was coming to life before his eyes. He was so scared. He was looking exactly like the replay of his dreams. Femi's heart raced. He wasn't sure if this was real, but his instincts kicked in. Without thinking, he ran, his feet pounding the ground as his legs moved faster than he could control, almost as if his body was trying to escape before something bad happened. Femi hid in a corner, panting heavily, confused. He didn't know what to do. The old woman turned around, her face twisted into a strange grin. She let out a wide, hysterical laugh, and she said, "God really loves you." Her voice filled with sarcasm. "You would have regretted helping me. You made the right decision running for your life." Femi froze in his tracks, confused and frightened. But before he could react, the old woman's appearance began to change right before his eyes. The transformation was fast. It was as if it was in the movies, and within moments, the old woman morphed into none other than Iyaola. It was Iyaola all along, the same woman who was envious of Auntie Peju. Femi couldn't believe his eyes. The same woman who had been causing him so much trouble, the one who had tried to ruin his life and his business, was standing before him, still holding on to the bitterness and grudges she had against Auntie Peju and Femi. The hatred in her eyes was undeniable. Femi rushed home, panting heavily. He was too destabilized to even calm down. On that day, he told his mother everything. His mother told him to calm down, and she said, "Dreams are warnings, and because you always put God first, He will never leave you. He has revealed this arm to you, and you are protected by the grace of God." My usual reminder for you to always calm down. Wait for God's time. No one will see you and call you a lazy man. You are a hard-working young man, and God will crown your effort. Femi sighed in relief. He remained quiet. A few weeks later, Femi got a call. The grant he had been waiting for. He applied for the grant years back. It was a grant to support small businesses. The grant was huge. It was a dream come true. With that, he was able to expand his business, give his mother the comfort he had always wanted. With time, his mother's health got better. Femi sat down in his high-end bakery, pondering over his achievements, thinking about his life, and imagining if the worst had happened to him. He sighed, and he said to himself, "Nothing, I mean nothing. Nothing can ever happen except what God has ordained for us." I would like to hear from you the few moral lessons you learned from this story. And please remember to like this video, subscribe if you love what you just watched. Please remember to turn on the post notification so you'll be among the first when I drop another video. Thank you for the love. I do not take it for granted, and I'll see you in another beautiful video. Bye. With love. Mwah.